welcome to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name is Nick. Welcome back to another episode of the world famous Bottom of the Stream podcast, where we are on a never-ending quest to find hidden gem movies at the bottom of the Netflix stream.
We are indeed. How are you, Nick?
Great.
Yeah? Excited?
Yeah,
Good.
I am excited.
Nick's excited because we're about to talk about a movie called Finder's Fee.
Yeah.
Finder's Fee came out in 2001, which is, like you said in the wave, this is not an area of time we've ever really explored before.
I feel that this is a bit of a blind spot in terms of bottom of the stream Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
You might have movies from this era, like Hollywood movies or whatever, but a lot of our bottom of the stream stuff is more recent.
Yeah, it is.
It's the last 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know we've done some stuff that goes way back, but I feel like early 2000s is an untapped time period for us so far.
Well, it was until now because this came out in 2001. It's a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 40 minutes. And is a Netflix original because I always say that, but this isn't this week. This is not a Netflix movie. This movie stars Eric Palladino. He plays Tepper. You might know him if you were a fan of TV around the early 2000s. He was in a lot. He was in ER.
I kind of recognised him.
He was in ER for the first 2 seasons, and then he didn't think his character was being used, so he quit.
Right.
Then he was in Suits for quite a while. He's in U571.
I have seen that.
Submarine movie. And interestingly, has the same birthday as you.
Oh,
there you go.
Born
on May the 10th. Slightly a little bit more famous since this movie came out. Ryan Reynolds is in this movie.
Yeah.
He plays Quigley. Most famous probably for being Deadpool.
Amongst other things.
Amongst loads of stuff. Since the early 2000s, Ryan Reynolds
the
has
town
worked.
of Wrexham.
Yes, he owns Wrexham. Ryan Reynolds has pretty much worked consistently since this movie came out.
Yeah.
He's never not doing something. This movie also stars a guy with a fantastic name of Dash Mishok. Know him?
I recognised him, and I wanted to. Yeah, I will get to him in a minute.
Okay. The reason I picked him out
because he sent me down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
On YouTube.
The reason I picked him out in these three above some of the more famous people in this is because he's been on the show before.
Has he?
Yes. He is in Before I Wake.
Was he?
Yes. With Jacob Tremblay.
Okay.
That's the only reason I picked him out. He's most famous. He was in Ray Donovan. He was one of the brothers in Ray Donovan.
I most recognised him from Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
He was in Romeo and Juliet as well.
Where he played, I think it's Mercutio.
Yeah, you might be right.
He's Hawaiian shirt, blonde guy. But he's done a lot of other stuff. Yeah. Shall I tell you why they sent me down a YouTube rabbit 100%. Hole? So I started watching this movie. And I was like, oh, that's the guy from Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I was like, what else do I know him from? I know him from a lot of other stuff. What else do I know him from? I've got something in the back of my mind that I can't quite pull out. So I did the old thing, Googled him, Wikipedia'd him. I was like, that's it. He was in an Alanis Morissette video in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And it's a really good music video. I think the song's So Pure, and they just dance.
Right.
Together, but they do all different styles of dance all the way through this video. So they go from like the 20s to the, they do Fred Astaire, and it's just the two of them dancing. That's all the video is. They're both really good. And then I just spent half an hour watching Alanis Morissette videos, and then got into some where she was doing like live stuff in like the pandemic in her living room.
Right.
And she still got it, that lady.
I would love to see Alanis Morissette live.
Do you know what? I think she's I've been lucky enough to see most of sort of my biggest musical influences live, even if it's only once.
Yeah.
And she is one who I've never seen live. I would love to see her live.
I would as well.
Yeah.
Didn't she imagine in this, or was she going out with Ryan Reynolds back in the day?
That's the loop. Yes. Back into this movie. So her and Ryan Reynolds were together for a couple of years.
I thought they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that means like all Canadian. Famous Canadians
going out with
hook up. But yeah, her and Ryan Reynolds were together, and that was the end.
I wonder if that's the connection of how she met Dash Mihok.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that music video was a year after or 2 years after this. So I'm not sure on the overlap there, but yeah, possibly.
Interesting. There we go.
And before we do start, we can't not mention James Earl Jones is in this movie.
He is indeed, yeah. He would have been the third one I mentioned had Dash Mihok not been on this show before. Robert Forster's also in this movie. There's like,
So is Matthew Lilliard.
so is Matthew Lilliard.
And this movie never had a cinematic release.
It didn't ever have a.
It was a
cinematic
straight to
release.
DVD movie.
It was, and in some countries, it only came on DVD last year.
Wow.
So yeah, really.
It's a hard to find movie.
It is. It hasn't been remastered.
No.
It's still in like 4:3.
It looks shit.
It looks terrible.
It's
The
so
sound
grainy.
is terrible. The sound. I had to turn my TV right up to hear what they were even saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't look great.
Yeah, I had the subtitles on.
Do you know who wrote and directed this movie, Nick?
Yeah, I do, because of my rabbit hole. I was like, there's actually loads behind this movie.
It's really strange.
So, but go on.
This movie was written and directed by, how do you say his name? Jeff Probst,
Yeah,
who's been the host of Survivor in America for 20 odd years now.
yeah.
He wrote and directed this movie. Never wrote a movie before. Never wrote a movie since. Never directed a movie before. Never directed a movie since. He just thought, I'm going to write this movie. Got it made it himself. Then went on to just carry on doing what he was doing with Survivor. And has been doing ever since. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It is so strange. What a little weird find we found here. Robin
It's a real
pulled us a little
curio, isn't it?
It is. It's a real curious movie. Shall we talk about it and find out if it's any good?
Yeah. Let's crack on.
Before we do, I'm going to pull the blind down because I don't like doing this when it's dark outside and we've got the lights on.
No.
People can see. Not that there's people out there, but it just makes me self-conscious, and I don't want to be self-conscious. Do you have a one-word review of this movie, Nick?
I've stuck to my one-word review task this week.
You've only got one word?
Yeah.
Go on.
Darth Vader versus Deadpool.
That is not one word, but also great.
What else could it be?
Yeah, what else could it be? Forget Deadpool versus Wolverine. Let's have Deadpool versus Darth Vader. Where's this movie start, Nick?
I have my first words are, this looks so cheap.
It was exactly what mine are as well.
It's a gutter.
It felt like an early episode of Seinfeld.
Rain falling in the gutter.
Yeah. There's a rainy New York street.
So, in fact, it was so grainy and crap that I couldn't really tell what I was looking at at first. But then I realised we're looking at a roadside, we're looking at a gutter, and there's a wallet on the floor.
There is indeed. It's outside a man's apartment because he walks past it, notices it, picks it up and takes it inside his apartment.
Yeah.
On his way, this is Tepper, our main character. We don't know that at this point, but that's who it is. On his way up to his apartment, he checks on an elderly neighbour who lives like across the corridor from him.
Oh, and I recognise this lady as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've not written it down. I can't remember her name. But this is the same lady who plays the grandma in Happy Gilmore. And she's in loads of stuff.
Okay, interesting. She's okay. She's gone a little bit batty in her old age. She thinks somebody's stealing her mail.
Yeah, Tepper's like not looking after her.
But he looks out for her. He
checks
checks on her every so often. Yeah. She thinks somebody's stealing her mail from her kids because the kids have stopped writing to her for some reason. But they're obviously not.
That's low key dark, isn't it?
It is quite low key dark when you think about it. He gives her a butterfinger and goes back to his apartment. When he gets there, there's a lady inside his apartment.
Yeah, it's his girlfriend.
This is his girlfriend,
Carla.
I'm not sure if she had two names in this because I'm sure at some point somebody called her Gloria.
Maybe.
But you're right. Her name was Carla.
He's preoccupied.
He is. He doesn't. He seems
not
distracted.
very nice to her.
No, he's not very nice to her. He's not a very nice guy. But yeah, he does seem.
He's all over the shop. Tepper is, to be fair, in this movie.
He is. He doesn't seem.
He's basically trying to shoo her out the door.
Yeah, he's trying to get rid of her because he's got some boys coming around.
Yeah, it's boys' poker night.
Yeah, it is. But then he's also later that night going to go out on a date with her.
Yes, there's this sort of conversation which it feels like we could have done with a bit more background because they're sort of talking in circles about, it's a big night tonight.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you later. And I was just like, why has he double booked himself?
Yeah, it does seem really strange.
He's having this poker night and then he's taking her out. Something's going to happen. But she seems to know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But they never say, it's our 5th anniversary or...
No.
And it's probably just because the script's not.
The script's not great. It's not a great script.
Or something dropped out in the edit. I don't know. But...
He's going to take her out later on, but he doesn't want to see her now.
Yeah.
And something's going to happen later on, but they're both aware of, but we don't acknowledge.
Yeah.
At this point. However, he does hide a ring box.
He does.
In his poker equipment.
Yeah.
It's got a box with chips and stuff in. Just before she leaves, she checks her winning lottery numbers. Her lottery numbers to see if she's won and she hasn't.
Yeah, she writes them down on the back of an envelope.
Bit of paper, yeah. And then she leaves. This is where I put this movie looks so old. And then I realised this movie is quite old. 23 years ago is quite a long time. And then he remembers that he found this wallet in the street just after she leaves. It kind of falls out of one of his bags. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So he tries to call...
There's no photo ID in it.
There's no ID in it at all. There's nothing in it to identify whose wallet it is. But in the back of the wallet is a guy's phone number.
Yeah.
And it says Victor, and then it's got a phone number. So he calls this number.
Well, it's got a name in it. It's got Avery Phillips, like a fireman's membership card.
Yeah, he's like a member of the Fireman's Union.
So first he rings the exchange.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's 2001. You haven't got a phone. You can't do Google. So, and they say, no, we've got no listings for
we don't know who this guy is. So then he finds this number in the back for Victor. So he calls this number, leaves a message. And he basically says, look, I found this guy's wallet. I don't know who you are in relation to him, but if you know him,
it's got your number.
Here's my number. Here's my address. Send him round or get him to call me. What I thought was quite interesting was the number that he called, Victor's number, and then he left a number for Victor. And there was like 3 digits different. It was like 555-1981, and he left 1984. They were like phone number neighbours. Then he
looks through the wallet, see what else is in there.
Yeah, he does, and he finds a lottery ticket in there.
Yeah.
And then he thinks those numbers look familiar. And then he gets the envelope that she wrote on out of the bin and finds that this lottery ticket is a winner.
Yeah.
And not only is it a winner, it's worth $6 million.
Yeah, that's what the jackpot is.
That's what the jackpot on this 3-number lottery.
Yeah.
Seems really easy to win. And there's not many different combinations. I don't know how... It was 91, one of the numbers, so there's quite a lot of numbers to pick.
I think it was like 10, 34, 91, something like that.
Yeah, it was. And 10, 23, 91.
And
it was a date.
And just... So the room starts swaying a bit. So Tepper's like, oh...
What do I do?
He's all discombobulated. But just before he can start to process all this, the buzzer goes.
Yes.
His friends are starting to arrive.
His first friend arrives, and this is Fish.
Yeah.
And this is Matthew Lilliard's character. And he arrives, and as always with Matthew Lilliard at the early 2000s, he was chaos.
Do you think Jeff Probst just went, yeah, just be yourself.
Just be yourself.
Just play the guy from Scream.
Matthew Lilliard was a fine line but in his characters in the early 2000s of whether he was annoying. And in this movie, he's quite annoying. Like, really. In fact, he's really annoying.
Whatever
in this
you
movie.
Expect 2001 Matthew Lilliard to play... How to play this character. That's exactly how he plays it.
Yeah, and there's a real fine line, but he was a lot. It was a lot to deal with in this movie. And he was as soon as Fish comes in the room, he was going to say, look, I've just found this winning lottery ticket. But they have this poker ritual where they all buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
And that's what they play for.
Yeah,
they don't check the numbers.
No.
And the pot is 5 or 6 lottery tickets that could be worth millions, but they don't know because they have a pact where they don't check the lottery numbers.
Yeah.
And Fish is, as soon as he comes in, Fish is ranting because he's walked past one of the other guys' apartments and he can hear the TV.
Yeah.
On. So he's pretty sure that this guy's cheating him.
Yeah, he's like, Quigley, he's checked the numbers. I know he's checked the numbers. I can hear his TV on.
And this seems like the biggest betrayal you can do to this guy. And we know that Tepper's already checked the numbers. So we know that he knows he's won.
Yeah.
So he then starts backing away from the conversation.
He has a winning ticket. His ticket hasn't won.
No, his ticket in his drawer hasn't won. So he starts backing away from the conversation. He's like, okay, I can't tell Fish this at this point because he's going to freak out.
But he does tell him about the wallet. He says, Fish, I've found this wallet.
Yeah, what do I do?
And Fish is like, well, is there anything in it?
Yeah.
And he's like, no. Well, if there's no money in it, what you bother about?
Yeah,
just
don't worry about it.
Put it in the bin.
Then the other guys show up. So Quigley shows up, who is Ryan Reynolds' character. And then Bolan is Dashmere Hook's character.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a poker... I've put her in poker night and then I've crossed it out and put poker afternoon. I'm not sure on the time.
No, me neither, because Tepper says straight away, right, we need to finish early.
Because I'm taking my girl out.
I've got a big
going
night.
to propose to my girlfriend.
Quigley's bought a load of wine because he's a wine salesman.
Yeah.
Despite the fact... So this film's 23 years old.
Correct.
Ryan Reynolds is 47, because I checked that out. So Ryan Reynolds would have only been 24. I suppose you could sell wine at 24. You can
sell wine at 24. You've been drinking it for 3 years.
Yeah.
But...
Also, just before we get into it.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, I know this is a grainy looking movie.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really age. Do you think this is 23
Ryan Reynolds
ago?
doesn't age at all.
He's got the sort of I wonder, was this around Blade Trinity? Because he looks like he looks like he did in Blade Trinity. He's got that beard, hasn't he? That
Yeah, could have been. Yeah, because interestingly, in the poster for this movie, he's clean shaven.
right,
But in the movie, he's got a beard all the way through. So maybe it is around that sort of time period. Yeah, maybe you're right. Okay. My next note says they all admire his ring.
Yes, they do.
So that he shows them the ring that he's going to propose with, and they admire it. And then, just as they're about to sit down to play poker, they get a knock at the door.
I just want to say
the intercom goes off.
Bolan puts on a mix.
Yes.
He makes mix CDs.
Yeah.
Which again feels very early 2000s. And he's got like a poker mix, but and later on there's like a love mix, isn't there? But all the background music is awful library, free use type music, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not playing proper songs.
No, it's that's what we're dealing with.
The audio quality of this film is awful as well. I had to turn my TV up to almost double of what it's normally on just to hear what they're saying. We're talking like it's a movie from the 70s.
I know.
It's crazy that it's only 20
this century.
Yeah. I've seen movies from this century. They're fine. This one, for some reason, feels like it was made in the 80s. The buzzer goes off, and it's Avery Phillips is at the door. And we may know this name because he's the guy who owns the wallet.
Yeah.
He happens to buzz just at the exact moment that Tepper's trying to open a bottle of wine. And so he almost slices his finger off when he hears the name because he doesn't want to deal with this, especially while all of his mates are there. Tepper then switches his losing ticket with the one in the wallet.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking, I can just get rid of this guy straight off.
Yeah,
no problem.
I guess so. And he says, Avery says, Victor was my brother-in-law. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Avery turns up at the door.
Yeah.
This is James Earl Jones is playing Avery.
Yep.
And yeah, he does. He's like, you rang my brother-in-law. Yeah, I believe you've got my wallet. What a very non-New York thing to do. Thank you very much. Blah, blah, blah. And Tepper's like, yeah, here's your wallet. Off you pop. Doesn't want him to even come through the door. But Avery says, look, can I call my wife? Because she's panicking about the credit cards.
Yeah, I want to let her know I found the wallet and I'll be back home. And he's kind of, I suppose so.
Yeah, if you must come in, phone your wife. He doesn't get through to his wife. She doesn't answer the phone for whatever reason.
And all the way through, Fish is like, it's Matthew Lillard's character. He's like going, oh, I'm the best, blah, blah, just giving all this banter. Yeah. Anyone who walks in. So like Avery walks past and he's like, I bet I'm better at darts than all of you, even you, old man. Yeah. And you can see the twinkle in James Earl Jones's eyes, to be fair. He's like, poker night, darts game.
Might make some new friends here.
Yeah. I don't want to go home to the missus.
I might play some darts for these guys. So they do. They have a game of darts to get closest to the
nearest
ball.
The ball, yeah.
To figure out who's going to go first in poker, I guess.
And Fish is already trying to manipulate it, isn't he? Because he's trying to go last.
Yeah.
So he sees what he's got to beat. And someone calls him out on it, don't they?
Yeah. All the while, Tepper's trying to get this guy to piss off.
Yeah.
He doesn't want Avery in his house because he's just stolen $6 million from him.
And he's also trying to, bandage up his thumb.
Which is also bleeding
everywhere.
out. All of his mates are being really loud and boisterous, and it's just a very chaotic environment.
Yeah. Because it does that a few times where the room starts swimming and he's
all you can hear is Matthew Lilliard just ranting all the way through it. It very much felt like this could be remade by the Safdie brothers these days. It's that sort of vibe.
But it's just to describe Tepper being disorientated
it is,
and how's he going to deal with this?
Yeah. So they start playing darts. They're going to do who's closest to the ball. Everybody's terrible at darts.
Yeah, really bad.
Somebody doesn't even hit the board. And then bloody Avery steps up to the hockey.
Wham.
Random throw. Wham, straight. It couldn't be more dead centre in the ball.
Yeah, and he wins $1 off them all.
He does, yeah.
So again, Tepper says, well done. All right, see you later. Yeah, come on. Haven't you got a place to get to? And all the others are like, this guy's great.
Yeah, let's keep him around.
You stay for a hand.
Yeah, and Tepper's like, no, he's got to go. And then suddenly, a load of cops show up in the building, screaming that the building's on lockdown because there's an escape somebody in there that they're trying to find.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to stay in their apartments. Nobody can come out. The old lady across the way, she's really worried. She pops out. She's like, what the hell's going on? But so he tells her to stay put in her apartment. And so now Avery is not allowed to leave.
No, he's in there.
Tepper's he even calls down to the cops to say, look, can this one man go home, please?
Yeah.
Avery's in. He's in for the long run. So he's staying and he's playing.
So they've still not played a hand of cards yet. And
my note says they finally start playing, and I've crossed it out.
Yeah, because Bolan starts chatting to Avery, and he's like, "You seem quite familiar." what do you do? Where are you from? And with this, where we find out Avery was a fireman.
Yep.
Retired
firefighter.
But he's struggling to make ends meet. He's got a large family, grandchildren, and he's a bus driver.
Yes.
And yeah, and then we're intercut with like the old lady wandering around, as you said, and it's all a bit chaotic.
Yeah, it is. Avery tries to call his wife again. He gets on the phone, and whilst he does actually get through to her this time.
Yeah.
And whilst he's on the phone to her, Tepper's trying to switch the tickets back.
Yeah, he's having an attack of the guilt.
Yeah,
already.
so he's trying to get into Avery's coat pocket, which is hanging on the wall. In full view of everybody, he's trying to do this. It doesn't work.
It's one of those movie and TV tropes, isn't it, where this is a fairly large open plan apartment, but if you just step off screen, then no one can see or hear you.
Yeah, it's really strange. It doesn't work. So they all sit down at the table and they're going to start playing. And then Avery tells a story about some reason he brings up the fact that his granddaughter loves Derek Jeter, the baseball player from the early 2000s. Yeah. And Tepper's like, I've got an autographed card of Derek Jeter. Do you want it?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. All of his friends are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why are you giving this guy this card?
They were like, you love that card. And Tepper's like, no, I don't. I'm not that bothered.
I think Fisher's like, you would never give that to my daughter.
And Avery's like, you've found my wallet. Why are you doing? And it's
Tepper's
weird. All at sea, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird that he's just done this. But Avery's like, yeah, I'll fucking have it if you want me to have it. And then my notes say they finally start playing, which again is crossed out because they don't.
No, because the cops are going door to door again.
Yeah.
And this is where it's Avery's turn to be sketchy because the cop knocks on the door. Robert Forster. And Avery, just as the cop knocks on the door, Avery's like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Yeah. But I'm taking my coat and my hat with me.
Yeah. Also, don't tell that cop that I'm in the bathroom. It's very suspicious. So Robert Forster comes to the door. They let him in. And as soon as they let him in, Tepper's like, this might be my chance here. Yeah. So he just points at the bathroom door. Because this cop's looking for somebody. Yeah. They don't know it's not Avery. It could be anybody. Yeah. So Tepper kind of points to the bathroom door and the cop's like, oh, okay, something's going on here. So he shouts at the bathroom door. Nobody opens it. And then, so he breaks the bathroom door open, or he opens the bathroom door. Yeah. And he finds Avery standing in the bathtub behind the shower curtain, which is suspicious.
100%.
So this cop drags him out, puts him up against the wall, goes through his wallet. There's no ID in his wallet. We already know this. Yeah. That's weird. He says, oh, there should be ID in my wallet. He said
I had a photo ID in there.
Yeah. But it's not there. And so then they tell him the story of Tepper finding his wallet earlier, and that's why he's here. But he isn't the guy that the cops are looking for.
Well, the cop says, well, why are you hiding?
Yeah.
And Tepper says, well, I've got parking tickets.
Yeah. And I'm a bus driver, and that's bad.
Yeah. And so the cop brings it in. He says, I want to do a background check on Avery Phillips. And they have this conversation. He's like, okay, you're a bus driver. Yeah. And he says, I'm disputing them. I don't think they're fair. But the cop says, well, there is a warrant on you. Yeah. You could lose your job. Yeah. I could call this in and you lose your job but he lets him off.
He does, yeah, because it's not who they're looking for, and they're preoccupied with whoever they're looking for. So they do. They let him go.
The cop just says, "You've all got to stay here."
Yeah, you can't. You still can't go anywhere. But you're not going to get arrested.
So Tepper now has to apologise. For shopping Avery for hiding in the bathroom.
But he's got a point. It was suspicious,
and his mates back him up. They say, "Look, we don't know you."
Yeah, that was weird that you did that.
It was weird you did that.
But they still haven't played any poker. I've just got that in my notes.
No, and they're about to. But then Dolan remembers where he knows Avery from. He says, my dad ran a summer camp.
Yes.
And you used to come and
do a talk.
Do safety talk.
Because you're a hero. You saved his wife with his leg or something.
Yeah, fire safety and... Yeah, you pulled your wife out of a burning building and...
I'm sure he said with your leg. And I was like...
No, I think he hurt his leg and that's why he had to leave.
I thought he said he saved his wife with his leg. I was like, that's impressive.
And that's what Avery says, yeah, that's right. And my pension's not what you thought it would be. So I'm having to drive a bus to make ends meet.
Yes. So then they sit down to play some poker.
Yeah. Maybe.
And this is where Fish explains, look, we play for lottery tickets. Do you have a lottery ticket? He says to Avery. Avery's like, yep, there's one in my wallet. We play for lottery tickets. Last man standing takes all the tickets. If you win, that's yours. Then Tepper says, I haven't brought a ticket.
Yeah.
I don't have a ticket. I'm sorry. I completely forgot to buy a ticket.
And Fish is like, what? This is the worst thing that could happen. We buy one every week. How could you forget to buy one? You're ruining the game.
And then Avery says, check his top pocket.
Yeah.
So, because he does have one, and it is in his top pocket. How Avery knew this, I don't know.
He must have clocked it earlier.
But he properly calls this guy out. who's this nice guy who's helped him.
Who just shopped him for standing in the bath?
Yeah, exactly, true. And Avery's like, look, I've brought it for my girlfriend.
Tepper.
Tepper, sorry. I brought it for my girlfriend.
It's going with the proposal.
It's going with the proposal tonight. But eventually they talk him into playing this game.
Yeah, they'll tell him basically you're being weird.
Yeah, you're being weird. You've got to play. You've brought a ticket. You've got to play for it.
Bros or hoes, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Then Fish makes them all swear that they haven't checked the numbers. If you know the numbers, you can't be in the game. And they all go one by one swear that they haven't seen the numbers. And so they don't know if these tickets are winners or not.
So the winning ticket that we know is a winning ticket that was Avery's that Tepper's got hold of, he puts it in the table.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting because it's now covered in blood.
Yeah. So they know that that's Tepper's ticket.
Yeah, and Avery even says, no mistake in which one's yours.
Yeah. And then they finally start playing poker, but they don't. Fish then he decides, right, we're doing a load of truths tonight. So he reveals all of their tells.
Yeah.
So he's like, Quigley's got a tell. He spins something in his hand if he's got a good hand.
Fiddles with whatever he's got in his hand.
Bolan's got a tell because he taps his feet when he's got a bad hand. So then...
He says he's still working on Tepper's. He's not sure what it is.
Yeah, he's not sure what it is. He's like a silent assassin type of guy. These guys don't appear to like each other. I don't know why they're friends. It's very strange.
I think that's a problem with the script, though. It veers from we're bros, we're busting chops to actual real cutting.
It had a Buddy Gabe's vibe of like, these are all friends that have been friends forever.
Yeah.
But don't actually like each other. Like Fish and Quigley.
Fish hates Quigley.
Yeah, they hated each other.
Yeah. But everyone liked Dolan because he was like the nice. They kind of all underestimated him, really, didn't they?
So then they do start playing poker. This happens now. And another rule that they have that Fish explains is that if you get up from the table for any reason, you're out of the game. Yeah. You forfeit the game. You are not allowed to leave the table. And then they start playing. They do a couple of hands, and then Bolan's like, what's that smell? I can smell it. It smells like cat piss.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It stinks, innit?
It stinks in it. And he starts putting his shirt over his face. He's like, it fucking stinks. And he says it so much that he convinces Quigley that it does stink of cat piss.
I think first, Bolan is eliminated. He's the first one to fold.
He folds. He's out of that particular hand.
That leaves the four of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he keeps talking about how this apartment stinks.
And so Quigley's like, right, I'm going to get up and open a window.
Yeah,
so he gets up and open a window.
And they're instantly like,
you're out. And Bolan's like, it doesn't stink of cat piss in here. I've just implanted that in your brain like some sort of psychic. And Quigley's annoyed about that. He's out.
That starts a whole argument.
Yeah, it does. But he is out, and he finally accepts it. He's like, okay, fine, I'm out.
So you've got Tepper, Fish, and Avery still playing for these tickets.
Quigley then decides he's going to become a peeping Tom.
Yeah,
because he finds some binoculars and he starts looking out the window across at the other apartments, and he sees some girls that are getting changed, and one of them's almost naked, but she's definitely over 18. I like how he actually pointed that out. So he's looking at it and he's explaining to the others what he can see, and he's trying to get Fish to stand up, I think. Yeah. And Bolan comes over and he has a look, and they're like, yeah, there's some naked girls out here. But Fish isn't interested, that we're still in the game. Tepper then makes his finger a lot worse.
Yeah, he
scratches it on a chair.
Scratches it down the side of the chair.
Opens up the wound again, and it's pouring blood out now. And he says, look, and Fish says, look, you've got to get up and get that cleaned out because it's disgusting. I will allow you to leave the table to do that.
Which then starts another argument because
Tepper gets up.
Quigley and Bolan are like, whoa.
No, Avery does it.
Oh,
Avery says.
No, you're right, yeah.
Tepper gets up from the table and Avery's like, I assume you're out now. And Fish kicks off because Fish is like, no, I told him he could stand up. I'm in charge. I'm the pit boss.
So then he's like, who put you in charge?
Yeah. But then Fish gets up and gets right in Avery's face. And I'm like, well, he's out as well now because he's got up. But then nobody else seemed to notice that.
So Bolan threatens to rip all the tickets up.
Yeah.
Like, this is not working tonight.
Yeah. None of us are in the right headspace for it.
Call it all off.
He threatens to rip it up. Tepper stops him at the last minute. And Bolan then goes like, right, I'm an independent here. I'm out of the game already. I will make the decision. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
And
then they all agree to abide by his
Avery
decision.
agrees, and he allows Tepper to stay in the game.
Yeah. So it's still the
after he's sorted his finger out, because he goes into the bathroom to clean up. And whilst he's in the bathroom, he rigs the deck. I didn't quite catch what he was doing.
There's another pack of cards because it's referenced earlier.
Yeah.
And he's basically got it, whether he's got it in his pocket or whatever. But
I think he snatched it off the table with his towel that he was sopping the blood up with.
He basically takes an extra couple of aces and puts them in his actual hand, not his hand of cards.
Yes. But whilst he's doing it, he accidentally drops a card on the bathroom floor and doesn't notice.
Yeah.
And he goes out the bathroom. Back in the meantime, Boland's telling this weird, deep story that I didn't really understand.
Oh, about him and his wife struggling to get pregnant.
Yeah, that was just time for that.
Yeah.
He goes back to the game, and they start playing again.
Just as Tepper's coming out of the bathroom, Quigley goes in.
Yes. So. And we see him stand on this card that Tepper had dropped on the floor.
It was 5 of clubs.
It was, indeed. We get back to the game. We see the hands that Tepper and Avery both have. And basically, Fish is out. He doesn't win the hand. Avery reveals his hand, and he has an ace of diamonds in his hand, which is part of his winning hand. And
He's got two aces.
Yeah, one of them's the ace of diamonds.
One of them's the ace of diamonds.
Tepper, meanwhile, has got 3 aces,
but one
of them's the ace of diamonds because he's cheated these cards. So he obviously can't show that because it will show that he's cheating. He also has this 5 of clubs, which we know Quigley had stood on in the bathroom, so has managed to get back in the deck somehow. So at this point, I think this is the point where we realise Quigley's in on what's going on here, or he's trying to understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
Tepper does show his hand, reveals that he's got 3 aces.
No, he shows he's got 2.
Yeah.
And then he's like...
pulls the top of the 3rd one out.
Yeah.
But only shows that it's a red ace, doesn't show that it's a diamond. Which was quite clever.
Yeah, but given how much these guys don't trust each other on other stuff...
Yeah,
I was like, not sure that would have worked.
Agreed.
But I'll give it a pass for the dramatic purposes.
Avery then reveals his hand, but not a poker hand. Because he says, just in a passing conversation, that he always plays the lottery. He plays it every week. He's played it for 10 years. And he always buys the same ticket from the same guy in the same shop.
Yeah.
And he always plays the same numbers.
Has done
for 10 years.
10 years.
So at this point, we know that Avery knows what's going on.
And he's letting Tepper know that he knows.
Yes, but without anybody else knowing. But also Quigley's figuring it out at the same time. Then the old lady knocks on the door while this is all going on because she's asking if the police will have searched the basement because the maintenance guy doesn't even ever go in the basement, so does the police know it's there? There's a lot going on again. It's all swimming in Tepper's head again. Yeah. He realises now that Avery knows that he knows, and he knows he's been made.
What's his next move?
Fish is still shouting his ass off because he always does. This old lady's wittering on. And so Tepper says, "Put a sock in it, old woman."
Yeah.
Which scares her, and then he jumps up off the table. He's like, "I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to scare you like that."
Everyone else is looking.
Everybody's like
so
disgusted with him.
in him. Yeah.
Look at it goes around. It's one of these camera pans around the table of everybody's disappointed face. And
it's quite a ham-fisted way to do it, but I guess it's trying to say this guy is now acting out of character.
Yes,
they're starting to notice.
Yeah, something weird's going on with this guy. He apologises. He gives her a hug. She does forgive him. She leaves, and she does look disapprovingly at him as she closes her own apartment door. We're down. Fish went out in the last hand. We're down to 2 people. We're down to Tepper and Avery. Tepper's got a flush,
but. Is this the point where Quigley sort of steps in as the dealer?
Yes. And this is the point where he must have slipped that 5 back into the deck.
He slips, he rigs the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Tepper wins.
Yeah.
So Tepper gets a flush of clubs and he wins the hand, but he folds his hand.
Yeah.
Because he says, no,
Avery's got 2 pairs, puts them
Avery
down.
reveals his hand, Tepper's like, oh, it can't be that, puts his hand
nothing.
down. Quigley and Boland both know that he's got a flush because Boland was standing behind him and Quigley knows he's dealt him one. So he's like, no, you've won. Here's your hand.
Boland turns it over for him and went, no, you've won.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're like, right, cool. This is what we always do. Call the lottery
numbers.
Find out what the numbers were.
So Tepper rings the number. It just gives you it's like a automated call.
This
gives him the 3 numbers, and he says no winners. End of story. Then the cop comes back.
Yeah, he's like, good news.
You're free to go.
We've found the vagrant.
Yeah, whoever we were looking for.
Or felon stuck in the garbage chute.
Upside down. That's first, he says. So you're free to leave. You can go if you want to go. Boland takes very quick advantage of this, packs his stuff up and goes.
But he leaves a mix CD.
He does.
By the stereo for Carla and Tepper.
Yes, which is like romantic songs.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice present.
But he leaves and we never see him again. That's the end of him in this movie. Tepper drops the winning lottery ticket into Avery's pocket.
Yeah.
Before he's about to leave. Avery's about to get up from the table. And then Quigley, Ryan Reynolds' character, nails him round the head with a bottle of wine.
It was good, wasn't it? It was a lovely
I didn't
twist.
see it coming.
No.
And I was like, oh, okay.
It's how he goes over. It was good for us because after Bolan leaves, Quigley walks over to the door.
Yeah.
Like he's going to follow him out, and he locks it. And I was like, why has he done that? And he just glasses the shit
He doesn't
James
smash
Earl
the bottle, he
Jones.
just clubs him around the head with it.
Deadpool glasses Darth Vader.
And then we know that he's...
To be fair, Matthew Lilliard does a bit of acting.
Yeah, he does.
Because he's oblivious to all that's been going on.
He has no clue.
He's so caught up in him just being Matthew Lilliard.
He's like, why is Quigley just brained this old dude?
So he's shook.
Yeah. He is shook.
Tepper is shook, but obviously realises what's going on.
And we now know that Quigley's figured this out. And he reveals straight away, he's like, I know we've got a winning lottery ticket here. I rigged that hand for you to win because I know there's a winning ticket there. I don't know how you know, but I know there is one. And he wants to kill Avery. He's like, we need to finish this guy off. So we've got this.
So how did he work out? He'd worked out it was a winning ticket because he worked out what Avery's numbers were.
Yes.
From his daughter's
because it was his granddaughter's birthday.
Because they'd been talking about... Because Quigley's got a daughter as well, so they'd been talking about birthdays.
I think he realised that Tepper was acting really weirdly as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think he just took a punt.
Yeah.
Was like,
so he'd basically worked out that Tepper had swapped the tickets because he'd worked out what Avery's numbers were. He'd then worked out, fucking hell, Tepper's acting really weird.
Yeah. Hold on, have we got to win the lottery?
Yeah.
It's exactly what he'd done. And he took a punt on killing this guy just in case his punt was right.
And he's raving now. Reynolds is
Reynolds
dancing around the room going, I think we've got a winner. What we can split it. What we can do. I have to do it. I had no choice. We've got to take care of this guy. I don't mind. I'll finish him off.
Yeah. I was literally going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Just as all this is going on, it's all chaos again. The intercom in the house goes off and it's the girlfriend, Carla, downstairs. It's like, come on, let me in. I'm ready for our date. And all three of them look at each other like, we can't let her in here.
Yeah.
There's a dog.
Fish actually says, it's not fair on her. She can't be involved in this. Bring her into this.
Yeah. So they just ignore her.
Yeah, and this bit was unintentionally made me laugh because she has a whole conversation ostensibly to herself because they're ignoring her.
Yeah.
Where it starts off and Carla's saying, I love you so much. I've been so excited about tonight. We've been together for so long. You're the love of my life. And then 2 minutes later, if that, in this monologue, she breaks up with him.
Yeah, she does.
You're not listening to me. Why are you ignoring me?
Yeah, proper random.
I was like, that's not our real person.
It really isn't. She's like, I don't care if the guys are still there. And then he just ignores her. And then she's like, okay, well, I think we're done then.
Yeah.
And just, he might not have been in, for all she knew. And then we see her out the window just walking away.
It was very just because it's convenient.
Yeah, it was. Quigley then reveals to Fish that Tepper had cheated him earlier in the night.
He says, I've worked out his tell.
Yes.
When he's lying, he looks people right in the eye.
And he knew about the diamonds as well somehow.
Yeah.
And he said he cheated you with 3 diamonds.
He said, I saw him with the extra ace. I've watched it. I'm not as stupid as you think I am.
Yeah. Then Avery pipes up because he's now sitting on a chair. He's got his head's pouring of blood.
Well, he's presumably fearing for his life.
Yes. He pipes up and is like, look, I'll split it with you guys.
Yeah.
This will sort it all out. I'll split it. And Quigley and Fish are like, oh, okay, that solves everything. No problem. We'll just split it. Yeah. I'm happy with that. It's more than $1 million each.
$1.5 million each between 4 of them.
Tepper's like, we're not splitting it. It's his. It's Avery's ticket. We have no claim to it. It's his ticket. He's walking out of here tonight with that ticket.
Also, what we didn't mention is in the furore of the glass to the head, Tepper kind of rang the cops, but we weren't sure whether it got through or not.
He rang 911 to say somebody's been
But he did blurt out the address.
He did, yeah. Just as Tepper's putting his foot down to his mate saying, look, no, this isn't happening. We're not taking this guy's money. Guess who knocks on the door again?
The cop.
Rapid Foster's knocks on the door again.
He's like, I'd only just got into the car.
I was just driving over the bridge to go.
What are you guys playing?
What's going on?
And then he sees Avery bleeding.
Yeah, and he's like, what's happened to you? And Avery's like, we were just horse playing around. Don't worry about it. And Fish is like, Quigley's like, I called the 911. I thought this guy was really hurt, but he's fine. You can go if you want. And then Tepper says...
And he buys it. The cop's about to leave.
Yeah. And then Tepper says, I think I've broken the law.
Yeah.
Which is going to pique a cop's interest. And he basically tells the cop everything. He's like, this lottery ticket is a winning lottery ticket. It belongs to this guy. It doesn't belong to these two
I
guys.
found it in his wallet.
I found it in his wallet. Can you make sure that this guy gets home safely tonight with this lottery ticket? And the cop's like, hell yeah, I can. Puts it in his pocket and he says...
but then he goes, are you telling me that you took that guy's lottery ticket?
Yeah. And Avery's like, no, there's no crime here, it's fine.
Yeah. And the cop's like...
I'm going to have to do loads of paperwork.
Yeah. You've stolen this from me.
Yeah.
And he's like... And this was a nice wrinkle now.
Yeah.
Because the cop basically says, I've now got to process this.
Yeah.
This is evidence.
Yeah.
What I will do for you is he basically said, I can't let Avery have this ticket. It is evidence. I will do all the paperwork. I will mark it for his attention. Monday morning,
yeah,
come and collect it
from
the station. And then they call the cop out and they go, how do we know you're not just going to pocket that?
Yeah.
And the cop basically says, you don't.
There's a really nice line from Matthew Lilliard. Because he instead of saying, do you think I'm an idiot? He went, do you think I've got 10 inches? And Robert Foster just turns around and goes, are you bragging or calling me a liar?
Yeah.
I thought that's a great line. I really enjoyed that. And Robert Foster's character leaves with the ticket.
Yeah.
It's gone. The ticket's gone. So then Fish puts his beanie on. He's like, okay, well, that's the end of that. I'm not going to get any of this money.
He asked Tepper, did you really give him the winning ticket?
Did you just give a New York cop a $6 million lottery ticket?
And Tepper says, I did the right thing.
Yeah. And then Fish is like, I'm out. So he leaves.
Fine.
He's gone. We never
home.
see him again. Quigley then leaves as well with no words. He
Yeah.
is silent. He just walks out the door. And so we're just left with Tepper and Avery. And Tepper passes Avery his coat and his hat. And then he puts the winning lottery ticket on the table in front of him.
Yeah.
Because he's given the cop the not winning lottery ticket, which I think would be quite easy to find out from the cop. And Avery,
James Earl Jones, this is his famous James Earl Jones laugh.
Yeah, he does. He gets all happy and excited, starts laughing. He's excited. He's gonna be a multi-millionaire. He's all excited. And he leaves.
I think he says, call your girlfriend.
Yeah, call your girlfriend, sort that out.
Yeah.
Fish says that to him. Fish leaves his mobile phone
Yeah.
with him, doesn't he? He
Oh,
says,
he does, yeah.
because his landline phone's been ripped out of the wall. So Fish says, call Carla. Gloria? Carla, one of the two. Sort it out. That's implying we're still mates.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back for my phone at some point. And then Avery says the same thing. Avery leaves. He's all happy.
Yeah.
So
He
Tepper's
literally dances out the door.
Yep. He literally does. Tepper then calls his girlfriend.
He finds the mix CD.
He does. Starts playing it
Bowling
on the phone at her. Tells her it's a voicemail. She's not there, but he tells her he loves her. We know she's not there because she's literally only left 2 minutes ago. Tells her he loves her and hopes it's not too late. And then as he puts the phone down, there's a knock at his door.
Yeah. Oh, Carla's back.
Yeah. Oh, happy.
Yeah.
And then when he gets there, there's an old guy at the door. And he says, I understand you found my wallet. My name is Avery.
Yeah. He's got a
And
photo ID.
He's got a photo ID of a bus driver.
And then the film ends.
And then the film ends. And I'm like, who the fuck was that guy?
Who was James Earl Jones?
Who was James Earl Jones? And how did he know everything? Do you have an explanation for me, Nick?
I can make one up.
James Earl Jones
I can make
was?
one up.
Go on.
Maybe he was Victor.
Maybe.
He
has to be Victor, is that right?
No, he doesn't have to be. He could be...
How? Victor's the only person who knows that Tepper's got the wallet.
Maybe it was Victor.
It has to be, doesn't he?
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
But how did he know? I'm really confused by it.
I think he has to be Victor.
He does have to be Victor, but how does he know why does he come for the wallet?
Because he knows the numbers. He
How,
knows
though?
the numbers that Avery... Because if he's Avery's brother-in-law, he knows the numbers he plays.
So we think he's genuine.
It's only 3 numbers.
But then how does this guy who turns up at the end, who's Avery, how does he know that he's got...
Maybe he's been to Victor's and he's listening to the same message.
Oh,
I'm making it up, but...
it doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's my point.
The
There's
twist
a twist
is done
at the
for a
end.
twist.
The twist is done for
Yeah.
twist's sake, and it makes no sense whatsoever.
What do you think of this movie?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's pure chaos.
Yeah.
It's annoying to watch at points because Matthew Lilliard's really annoying in it. And I like Matthew Lilliard. I think he's great. But he's annoying in this movie. But overall, I think it's okay. What did you think of it?
I thought
You're looking at me like I'm a crazy person.
No, I thought it was really of its time.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
yeah, it hasn't aged well.
A real sort of snapshot of
2001.
What I will say is, before I get into what I thought of it, if I'd have watched this in 2001, when I was late teens, early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if this had come on late at night, like, or when I'm at uni or something, and I'm like, oh, what's this? Oh, it's early hours of the morning, late at night. I'd have watched it and gone, fucking hell, I really enjoyed that. And I wasn't expecting anything from it.
There was a slew of movies back then of lottery movies, wasn't there? There was the one Cage did as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, that was mid-90s. Yeah, it could happen to you.
Yeah.
So if I'd have watched it back then, I think I'd have watched this a few times over, and I'd be like, that's a nice little hidden gem. Watching it now,
it's dated quite badly.
It's like, it's a very different lens to view it in, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'd still say it was a nice surprise.
Yeah,
and it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
and I even found a post from. So I was like, what can I find on this movie after watching it?
Yeah.
Because I was like, obviously James Earl Jones is a big deal.
Yeah.
In 2001, Matthew Lilliard was pretty much
one of the most famous people in the world. Yeah. So was Ryan Reynolds. That was when he was building up his. Yeah. He was like the rom-com comedy guy, wasn't he? Yeah.
Stuff and I
was
was
like, Van Wilder by that point.
No, that was the year after.
Oh, was it? Okay. So it was it was early Ryan Reynolds.
But he was in a sitcom, wasn't he? Previous
he was.
To that. There's nothing out there on this movie.
No.
Do you know what I did find? I found a post from someone, just a normal person, who had met Matthew Lilliard at a convention.
Okay.
And got him to sign something from a lesser-known movie he'd done. Yeah. And apparently Matthew Lilliard said to him, oh, I don't get to sign many of these. This movie's hard to find. And then he said to him, finder's fee. That's another one I did. You'll never find that anywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And this is literally the only story I could find on about this movie, apart from the odd review from 20 years ago.
Because if you look on IMDb, the release date of IMDb tells you October 25th, 2023.
Yeah.
Because that's when it came out on DVD.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's got.
It had a limit. It had a straight DVD release in
2001.
Yeah.
I wonder if it got mixed up in 9/11 somewhere. Because it's a really interesting snapshot of New York pre 9/11 as well. Because it's literally just before. It makes you wonder if Robert Forster's character survived 9/11.
But this is as a sort of. It's this weird mix of people, in essentially, it all happens in one room.
Yeah, it feels like a stage play in places.
The script's not great.
No,
it's
not.
Clunky. The acting's up and down, but the concept's all right.
There's nobody likable in it, is there? None of the characters are likable. That is an issue.
You don't really care who comes out on top.
No, you don't. Even Avery's he's weird at parts. He's weird at parts because he's up to something because he hides from that cop.
Yeah.
So he's not just a guy who's turned up to pick up a wallet.
Well, and when he's on the phone to his wife, he's literally looking through the kitchen drawers and stuff. So,
he's not the guy the cop was looking for.
No.
But he can't just be the guy who's come to pick up the wallet because he's up to something. He's hiding from the police.
But this movie's not quite skilled enough to balance it all out.
It isn't.
But there's a decent concept here that is nonsense. And I had fun watching it.
Yeah,
I was really intrigued to see where it was going. And it doesn't nail the premise, but it's a weird snapshot to see all these famous people a lot earlier on. And I will say James Earl Jones is really good in it.
Yeah, he is. He's great. He's perfect for that role.
Yeah.
He's another one who's never changed, is he? He's always been James Earl Jones at that age. He's still going now. Yeah.
93 now. Yeah.
Wow.
This is would I recommend? I don't know if I'd recommend it, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it is. I enjoyed it.
I agree. I don't think you can recommend it because of how bad it is. It hasn't aged terribly. It's aged terribly. There's movies from 2001 that look absolutely fine.
Yeah.
This movie looks like it was shot on a potato. It's not even in widescreen.
No.
It's
fuzzy, isn't it?
It is.
It's fuzzy and grainy and
the audio's
out
awful.
of focus.
Yeah, some points. The audio, it feels like they're just talking into a camera. There's There's no sound mix done anywhere. The music that she said is all library stock music. It's terrible. It's chaotic. There's people shouting over each other all the time. You can't understand what the hell's going on.
But having said all that, there's something in it. There's something here,
yeah,
isn't there?
You're right, there is.
And this, I'm really happy that we've done this movie, because this is the sort of thing where like, this isn't a good movie, but there's something about it that's interesting, and it kept me.
Is that because we've not done a movie like this before? Is it because we've not touched this time period before? Is it just, are you enjoying this more because it's something different?
Maybe it took us back a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
But
there was something there that I was like, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, I agree. There is something there.
And
I can't put my finger on what it is, but it's maybe just the quality of the cast. And they're not all great in it, but we know that they're all great actors, or most of them are. The script lets it down.
Maybe
it's so weird
maybe it's the novelty of we're watching a Ryan Reynolds movie on bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a pretty famous Ryan Reynolds.
It's so weird that it's just written by the guy who hosts Survivor,
yes,
and
that's
directed
odd.
by the guy who hosts Survivor.
Yeah.
And he's never done anything like this before or since.
Yeah.
It's like we said at the beginning, it's a weird little curio. It's a strange movie that just exists.
But I think it's quite memorable.
Yeah, I agree.
Not necessarily for all good reasons, but this is one that I'll go, yeah, that's weird. That was a weird movie.
Yeah.
It's weird that this exists.
What's the best thing about it?
I think it's James Earl Jones.
I think it is James Earl Jones.
He's a class above, isn't he?
He steals it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Completely. What would you change about it?
I've
got to take that ending away. I'm sorry.
You take it away?
Yeah.
You don't think it adds anything?
Or at least add something into the movie. It doesn't add anything, no, because it doesn't make any sense. You've either got to add something into the movie that explains it.
We should see James Earl Jones walking away laughing, because it's got that old thing of where, like, how did they not see each other in the
there's that as well.
in the hallway?
Who the fuck was he? That's what I want to know. And how the fuck did he know what was going on? I think it needed. There's one line in there that can explain it. I don't know what that line is, but there's something in there. You need one line from somebody somewhere that explains the ending. It's easy to draw. Even if...
What if he's back out on the street and he gets on a bus?
Yeah.
And the bus driver goes, "All right, Victor."
Yeah, something like that. Even if Robert Forster doesn't come in and say, "We've caught the bad guy."
Oh, so he's the actual bad guy.
Maybe.
Then how is he related to the wallet?
Who knows?
Yeah,
but it makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Because the police are looking for somebody. This guy's a weirdo. We don't have to explain it any further than that, but it makes a little bit more sense. And then you maybe drop another line in of how he knows where the wallet is. Maybe he's seen him buy the ticket and recognises the numbers. I don't know. There needs to be something there, or you've got to take it away completely.
Yeah,
it's nonsense.
It doesn't
make any sense.
It doesn't close the circle, does it?
No, it makes no sense. That ending makes no sense whatsoever. So you've either got to do that. You've either got to explain it or take it away.
Yeah, because I've totally made up in my mind that he's Victor.
Yeah.
There's nothing to.
But even that, I don't think that even stacks up.
No, it probably doesn't.
No.
I've literally just come up with it while we were talking. So
stream table.
Sure.
I'm going to read through what we've got currently.
Okay.
Currently, number 6 is a Riptide. Number 5 is Hard Feelings. Number 4 is Hypnotic. Number 3 is Bubble. Number 2 is The Girl in the Yellow Jumper. And currently, number 1 is The Call. Where's this one going, Nick?
It's a really simple question for me.
Go on.
Which side of Bubble does it go?
Above it.
Do you know what? That's my first reaction as well, and I think it's probably going to annoy a lot of people.
I think it is, but...
Is it a better movie than Bubble? No. Is it? God, I enjoyed it loads more than Bubble.
The same.
Loads more.
Bubble looks like 1 billion times better than this movie. But this is much more... For me...
I'm going to remember this movie more.
This is our stream table. For me, this is a movie that I would watch rather than Bubble.
This is a bottom of the stream movie.
Yes.
But this has got a lot of essence of why this podcast is here.
It is, yeah. Because
maybe that's why
nobody else in the world is comparing Bubble to a 2001 Ryan Reynolds movie. But that's
Ryan Reynolds has probably forgotten he's done.
100%.
To be fair,
Ryan
if I
Reynolds
ever met Ryan Reynolds, the only thing I'm asking him about is this movie.
Yeah.
I
Do you remember
don't
making
give a
Finders
shit about
for?
any of his other stuff that he's done.
So I imagine.
Or that football
What
team.
is that here? 2 weeks work in one set?
Yeah.
There's no way he remembers making this movie. It just doesn't. Remember making that movie with the guy from Survivor? And Matthew Lilliard? Third?
Yeah.
It's got to go third, hasn't it? It's nowhere near as good as The Girl in the Yellow. We've still got that golf there, but we're filling it in a little bit. It's nowhere near as The Girl in the Yellow Jumper. but it's better. It's better than Bubble. I'm saying it. It's a better movie. Done. I've said it.
Locked in.
Locked in. Right. We need another one.
We do.
Shall we pick next week's movie?
Yes.
What do you want?
Still have that action movie.
Shall we see if Robin will give you an action movie?
Yeah, sure.
He has picked us a movie called Sundogs.
Okay.
Any ideas what Sundogs is?
None whatsoever.
Okay, let me just find it on IMDb. Bear with. Oh, it's from 2017, so also a little while ago, but a bit closer now. Do you want a synopsis?
Yes, please.
It says, a young man determined to be a military hero ends upon a misguided adventure with his family and new friend Tally, which leads him to the most unlikely realization of how he can courageously save lives.
Okay.
Sounds ominous. It's currently rated at 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's quite high.
That is quite high. Ed O'Neill's in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Exhibit.
Oh, brilliant.
Just going through the
So, Ludacris has been in a movie we've done this show before. He was he performed at the Super Bowl.
He did indeed. Yeah. Cool.
Good.
So yeah, go out and watch Sundogs. It's a comedy drama, apparently.
I will.
Go out. You have to. These people don't, but it'd be nice if they did. Go out and watch Sundogs, and in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. Not Twitter, I don't know why I said it. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On our website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
pack of playing cards.
After you've done that, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/bottomofthestream. On there for £5 every month, you will get early access to episodes. You will get bonus episodes. You will get a wild card, which means you can come in, pick a movie, we'll watch it, we'll do an episode on it, and if you pick the best one of the season, you'll win a prize. After you've done all of that, head over to Discord. The Discord is a wonderful group full of wonderful people who will talk to you about anything. We've got some big plans coming up in the Discord in the next few months. Loads of cool stuff. We do watch-alongs, we play games, loads of stuff's going on in the Discord. Come and join us. The Discord link will be in the bottom of the show notes.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a rating and a review anywhere you can rate and review podcasts. It really helps. It helps spread the word about this show and gets us in more people's ears and in front of their eyes. What that means is we can make more friends, and that's what this is all about.
It is indeed.
You can do that anywhere you find your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Podbean, all the big ones, all the small ones, all the ones in between. Come and find us.
Absolutely. And if you know anybody you think might like us, tell them as well. Tell them to come and find us. And yeah, when you've done all of that, go out and watch Sundogs. It's on Netflix, and we'll be back on Monday for The Wave and next Thursday for the movie show.
Cheers!
Goodbye!